Friends, today I take up a new topic, and this is Indian foreign policy towards the Indian Ocean. The important lesson plan include why is it in the news? Number 1, number 2, introduction, number 3, economic significance of Indian Ocean, Indian policy towards Indian Ocean, the policy of the US towards Indian Ocean, response of the bordering countries, and India's response, and then finally conclusion. So friends, now I will take up one by one under these headings. So why is it in the news? You might have heard the recent visit of Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in the littoral state of Indian Ocean, and the main objective of China is to increase influence in the Indian Ocean region. And so New Delhi became very much alert, and then it started taking important measures to nullify the impact of or the influence of China in the Indian Ocean region. Friends, as you know, this map is about Indian Ocean, and the position of India is in the center, and you see this one is the Bay of Bengal, this one is Arabian Sea, and this one is Maldives, and this is the Sicily, this is Madagascar. What we see, this is a Gulf of Hormuz. I will detail it later on. And Strait of Malacca, this one. So what we see, geographically India is centrally located. Indian Ocean is the lifeline of India. So the security and sovereignty of India lies with the freedom or the peace zone of Indian Ocean. There should not be any power play. There should not be dominance of any other power in the Indian Ocean. If India wants to get or achieve great power status. Earlier also in its history, Indian Ocean had been virtually under the dominance of Indian kings. For example, during the Chola period, what we see, that the great Cholas converted Indian Ocean into the Chola Lake, and their influence spread beyond the Malacca Strait. So we can't imagine the great power status of India without a peaceful zone of Indian Ocean. Now, Indian Ocean is third largest ocean in the world after Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. It covers the total 20% of the oceanic water, and it is surrounded by India in the north, as I have shown you the map, in the west by Africa, in the east by Indonesia and Australia, and in the south by Southern Sea up to 60 degrees south of the latitude. So immense strategic importance for India, and it is the lifeline for us. Continental shelf of Mumbai, Gulf of Cambay, Godavari, Krishna Delta are rich in petroleum, natural gas, fisheries, and the biodiversity. And India extract all these minerals from these offshore mines. 90% of international trade of India is carried through the Indian Ocean. 60% of India's petroleum products are traded or imported from the Indian Ocean. So, the Indian Ocean is vital for the security and sovereignty of India. Now, what is the economic significance of Indian Ocean? Littoral countries of Indian Ocean, there are about 47 littoral countries and 10 island countries. And in addition, there are 10 landlocked countries also, which may be treated as littoral state because their trade passes through Indian Ocean. So, what we see, the littoral countries of Indian Ocean produces how much? Rubber 77%, tea 76%, dates 60%, cashew nut 55%, wool 45%, cotton 27%, coffee 20%, fish 10%. Now it has increased to 15%. Gold 82%, tin 60%, petroleum 35%, manganese 30%, iron ore 30%, diamond 18% of the world production. Fisheries, continental shelf of Indian Ocean rich in seafood. The Indian Ocean region is rich in non-conventional source of energy because of its tropical location. Its northern belt is in the tropical region. The equator passes through Maldives, which is around 600 to 700 kilometers away from the southern tip of India. So what we see, the Indian continent is completely in the northern hemisphere and there is a tropical climate in which there is ample sunshine throughout the year and the sun rays are the important source of non-conventional energy in the tropical region. 2015, now Government of India declared its Indian Ocean policy. So what were the main important ingredients of this policy? Thus I am going to narrate. Number one, Indian objective in the Indian Ocean under the banner of Sagar means security and growth of all in the region. The chief goal are to seek a climate of trust and transparency, respect for international maritime rules by all countries, sensitivity to each other's interest, peaceful resolution of maritime disputes, increase in maritime cooperation. These were the important elements of India's policy towards Indian Ocean region. Now, what is the policy of the US? The only superpower in this unipolar world after the dissolution of Soviet Union. So, the United States purchased Diego Garcia from Great Britain. You might be knowing that Mauritius was under Britain and before liberating Mauritius, the Great Britain handed over Diego Garcia Island to the US because the power of Britain weakened all the littoral states over which Britain was ruling till now. They were declared independent. The naval strength of Britain also became weak. So it adopted a policy of withdrawal of forces from the east of Suez in 1968 by the Prime Minister Harold Wilson. This Diego Garcia Island was sold over to the US. And the US built a naval base at this island, and the aim of the US was to control or to check the spread of communism in Asia and Africa, control trade in the Indian Ocean. In addition, the United States established a strategic bases at Eritrea, Bahrain, Doha, Jubail, Saudi Arabia, Holt at Australia, and Mahe, Seychelles. These were the important bases that the US built to control over the movement of trade in Indian Ocean. It was also aimed at controlling the influence of Soviet Union in the littoral states of Indian Ocean. After the dissolution of Soviet Union and weakening of its power, China want to fill the vacuum created by Soviet Union, and that's why it built naval bases at Coco Island under Myanmar in the Bay of Bengal, just on the head of the Andaman Nicobar Island. And secondly, Hambantota, Sri Lanka, and Gwadar Port, Pakistan. These naval bases are known as the Stream of Pearls. Gwadar Port will be linked with the Xinjiang province of China and will go through Pakistan by crossing the disputed territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So, the basic purpose of Chinese design is to encircle India by a string of pearls. Response of bordering countries against the hegemonistic design of the US and now China. So 47 littoral states, 7 island countries and 13 landlocked countries of the Indian Ocean region are very much concerned about the hegemonistic design of the US and China. The power politics among different superpower, they do not want any interference in their domestic region, because you know all littoral states want the Indian Ocean to remain a zone of peace. Most of them just became independent. They want progress in their socio and economic condition without the interference of the superpowers. So all these states except the Australia belong to the non-alignment group. Now these non-alignment countries passed the resolution, and also the UN, a resolution was passed to declare Indian Ocean as a zone of peace, bereft of power politics by superpowers. India's response in the face of the superpower rivalries between the US and China. So what you see, India wants that the sphere of influence of China should not increase. It would allocate $361 million aid to Maldives so that it should not fall into the debt trap of China. Earlier, what we have seen, that during 5 years of the rule of Yamin, China signed a free trade agreement with Maldives and thereby took loan around $3 billion from China, fearing that China may put Maldives under debt trap like Sri Lanka. Indian government become very much active under the new rule of Soli, who is now pro-India, and that's why government of India wants that loan taken from China should be reduced with the support of India, so that it should not fall into the debt trap of China. By the policy of debt trap diplomacy, China took Hambantota from Sri Lanka on a 99-year lease because of failure of Sri Lanka to repay the debt. Similarly, New Delhi took swift action by extending 400 million under the SAARC currency swap arrangement, partial deferral of $500 million settlement of Sri Lanka by 2 months, and 1.5 billion line of credit to assist Sri Lanka so that it should not fall in the debt trap of China. Earlier, Foreign Secretary visited Myanmar and they discussed about the Myanmar-India border problems and tried to sort out the increasing incidences by terrorists operating from the soil of Myanmar. So what we see, New Delhi now wants all kind of support and cooperation to the littoral states so that these states should not fall into the debt trap of China. Now, India, France, Australia are committed to securing the Indian Ocean through the close collaboration with joint naval exercises and support for regional institutions. Again, the Quad group consisting of the US, Australia, Japan and India. These Quad group aim at controlling the or minimizing the influence of China in the Indo-Pacific region. India is also strengthening on its western frontier by aligning with UAE, Israel and the US. Similarly, China-Pakistan economic corridor is built at the cost of $75 billion American to connect Xinjiang province through Pakistan to reach the Gwadar port in the Arabian Sea. And the government of India started building Chabahar port, and through this port the Indian goods will be traded with Afghanistan and Central Asian countries, Iran, Iraq. India also wants to maintain a close tie with the littoral state by offering incentives and assistance, calling on powerful allies to support the efforts across Indian Ocean in time of distress. For example, during tsunami in 2004, in which more than 250,000 people were killed, lakhs of and crores of property were destroyed, India came out to support the affected littoral states in the Indian Ocean belt. Similarly, when Myanmar was devastated by Nargis storm cyclone, India wholeheartedly supported Myanmar government and its people. So, what you see that in time of distress, India always tried to support the littoral states. India also is trying to build institutions, intergovernmental institutions among littoral states, so that the differences among these states can be sorted out. The tourism, culture, economic cooperation should be extended, should be strengthened in these populated littoral states where maximum states are poor, with the exception of a few countries like South Africa or Australia. So what we see that it has now become the policy of Government of India to support the littoral states of Indian Ocean in time of distress and in peace time. This is the Gwadar port. Now it is being developed with the assistance of China. It is on the seashore of Arabian Sea. Now what we see that China Pakistan Economic Corridor CPEC is being built at the cost of $75 billion, and now this is to connect Xinjiang province, the Kasgar city, and it goes through the disputed territory between Pakistan and India. That means Jammu and Kashmir, this one. And so India objected to its construction through this area. Now it takes 10 to 12 days to reach Chinese goods to the littoral states of Arabian Sea. Now, after the completion of this project, Chinese goods can travel within 2 to 3 days, and then they will reach to Arabian Sea. Indian government also constructing Chabahar, this one, Chabahar port. This is just beside the Gulf of Hormuz, and now its purpose is to link India with Iran, and then to Afghanistan, and then other these Central Asian provinces like Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. All these central provinces will be connected via Afghanistan. So this is the important project of Government of India to link up these countries with Indian trade, so that there should not be need for Pakistan. Conclusion. Now, what is the conclusion? India will have to take collective step to minimize the influence of China in the Indian Ocean. Why? Because any interference by China or dominance by China will cause immense damage to Indian prestige, India's rise to big power status. It will impinge upon the sovereignty and security of India, because I have already told you that more than 90% of its trade passes through Indian Ocean. So history tells us that whenever India dominates Indian Ocean, India gets the status of superpower. As you might be knowing, in its history, for 5,000 years, up to 1700, India was #1 economy of the world, producing 20 to 24% of GDP of the world. So, in the coming years, when India is striving for getting the superpower status, when the demographic dividends are favorable for India's growth, so it will be incumbent upon the Indian government to keep Indian Ocean as a free zone, bereft of power politics, by superpowers like the US or China. Then cooperation and coordination among international power to improve relation among littoral state, to promote maritime security, trade, culture, tourism, fisheries among littoral states are necessary. Again, it is pertinent to note that the Chinese naval power now have become second powerful naval power in the world. And so, what we have to do? We will have to strengthen the naval power to match Chinese. This one is Strait of Hormuz and Strait of Malacca. This passes through the Strait of Malacca, and here the Indian force is stationed there. This is a Mozambique channel through which goods are traded and goes to India. So, friends, as you know that India will have to guard its strength in Indian Ocean if it wants to achieve the great power status in near future. As I have told you in the last lecture, that demographic dividend is very much favorable for India from 2018 onwards, and it will continue up to 2055, 2060, whereby the growth of India will be very much high. It may achieve 9 to 10% annual growth. It should also be noted that the economy of China and India is having too much gap. Chinese economy is 5 times bigger than that of India. But after 5 to 7 years, the situation will reverse. Why? Because the demographic dividend will not be favorable after 2025, because the population of the old people, old Chinese people will be too much bigger. So the dependency load will also become bigger. So what we see that after 2025, when the economy of China will start dwindling or declining, India has the bright prospect of achieving higher growth in its economy. When India will achieve higher growth for 10 to 15, 20 years, its military power will also match with that of the US and China. As for now, what we see, in PPP terms, Indian economy is the third after China and the US. So, what we see, that in next decade, India has bright future to achieve the big power status what she had before 1700 AD. So, the most important objective of ours should be to keep the Indian Ocean free from the interplay of power politics by China and the US. In between, India must strengthen its naval power. It is sine qua non for the success of its foreign policy. If you like this lecture, please share and subscribe my channel AJIS Academy on YouTube. Thank you very much.